Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing a cut crease look like you just seen there before this clip, and we're going to kickstart right into the tutorial. I hope you enjoy. So first off, we are using the Laura M Original Flawless Primer. I love this primer specifically for my skin type, which I am sort of oily, not ridiculously oily. We also are going to prime our eyebrows. I prime my eyebrows just like you would prime your face. I'm using here the Sleek Clear Brow Gel just to get everything prepped and primed into shape for your product, which whether that be gel, pencils, powders. So we are taking the Soap and Glory Archery 2-in-1 pencil, which I love, and we are starting at the base of our brow, and it is important to use short strokes. Always use just along the base of our brow. So we use these short movements in order to create a nice natural filled in shape. So by using short strokes, you're making it look like you actually have hair there, so it's not looking so drawn on and intense, which I love as well, but this is just a more natural brow shape I use. So just following along the hair, like the same technique as down below, using short strokes and filling your brow in. Whenever you get your two strength lines, so when you get your bottom strength line and your top, like your outline basically, you want to start to fill in like you can see now. So short strokes yet again, and always avoid that inner portion of your brow. So never fill in that inner portion, starting to spoolie through just to fix them any wee edges you may have, like so. And then this is when you can start to add some wee details. So if there's anywhere where you want to fill in a wee bit more that's maybe come away since you've spoolied, work away, just perfect your brow. It will take a wee bit more time to get it perfect, but it is obviously practice makes perfect, blah blah blah. I'm just starting to mumble now, but basically just perfect your own brow. Everybody's brow is different. Fill into it to your like standard, and just make sure that you're happy with it. Don't worry if you make any mistakes, by the way, because concealer is your best friend. I swear, I conceal to death on clients as well. Sometimes it's just I'm having a bad brow day, so do not stress. And the concealer I love is the Rimmel Lasting Finish Concealer, which you can see now. It is amazing. And I'm just taking a Glam Co 226 brush, and I'm going to start to carve out underneath my brow. So just where your brow hairs, like underneath where you've just drew on your brow basically. And if you come down below, just start to fix it up. It'll be fine. You can carve underneath to clean it up. It's going to make this brow look so much more defined as well. So that is a win-win. We're also going to take that concealer on our eyelid to prime for shadow. Now only use a tiny wee bit and then just spread it all out to make sure that it covers your entire lid to prime for shadow. You can see here we're using the Master Palette by Mario in collaboration with ABH. Now this has to be one of my favourite palettes. The ABH palettes are my fave. The consistency is amazing, as you can see by my face. We're just taking a different palette's white shadow. I always like to set that base concealer with a white shadow, as powder works better on top of powder. And we're using this first shade here, and we are taking that on the brush that comes with the ABH palette. And I'd done this wrong. I started off in a circular movement, but I'm doing a cut crease, so that is wrong. Do not do that. So just go directly into your crease. So directly above your eyeball when you're looking straight ahead is the only way I'm going to explain it, and then start to flick and wing it out. Now take your time with this. Don't be going too heavy handed. Just start to maneuver it up and out with your own wee eyeball shape. Of course everybody's eye is different, but it'll give you a wee guideline here if you can see mine. So you know what I mean when I say I done it wrong. By the way, I done the circular, the round movement. That's not what you want to do here. You want to go directly into your crease, then start to flick it out towards the tail of your brow. Now we're doing this with our transition shade because we want this to be the most prominent, and we're taking it higher than what we normally would as well, so that when you're looking straight ahead you can see that cut crease. So this brush that comes with this palette has to be one of my favourite. I just really like the way it fits directly into the crease, and it also has a wee double end that can fit perfectly underneath your eye, so definitely don't be throwing out that brush. Now we're taking the Glam Co 227 and we're just further buffing and blending out. Now this brush has no product on it, so don't be don't be worrying about any additional product going any higher. Just buff them edges, girls. Blend, 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 blend. You know the score by now. So just blend into your wee heart's content and have a wee sing song along there. If anybody can guess what song I'm singing, you know, winner winner chicken dinner. So keep buffing, blending until your heart's content, and we're now going to take that brush yet again and pick up some more of that shade and just further intensify, unless you've blended too far away, which usually is my problem. I start to buff and blend it all away, but it's better than blending too much than too little. So just blend and apply till you get that desired coverage and look that you want. Then as you can see here, we're going to take the Inglot 10S and make sure with this darker shade, but make sure you hold this brush at the very top. The reason being is it's very flexible and you need to have more control of it. So just taking that directly into our crease, and don't worry girls, this will look really messy for the first wee while, but that is exactly what I love about it, is how clean and pristine it looks after, but it looks so mucky and messy to start off with. So just following that shape, but don't take it as high as that first original orange. You want that orange shade to be dominant. This is going to be your actual cut crease shape. So the 10S by Inglot is your best brush for this. Now we're taking our Glam Co 227 just to blend the edges. You know the score. Just blend, 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 blend. So perfect blending and reapplying until you get the desired coverage. Now this brush is the best. This is the Morphe M515. With that same shadow, we're going to just further intensify and deepen that crease. And I'm just checking to make sure you can see, as I'm not very good at recording myself, so that you can actually see full effect of the video. But as you can see, I'm just further deepening and defining that crease with this toady wee brush, which is perfect for this cut crease look. Still singing, still singing. Now we're going to take that orange shade and we're just going to buff over top of that with the same wee Anastasia brush that comes with the palette. Then we're going in with the Glam Co 227. I like to switch around, as you can see. This mightn't even be 100% necessary, but I just like to chop and change all the time. Just keep blending, just keep blending, 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 just keep blending. Now we're going back in with the wee Morphe brush. Like seriously, I don't know, I think I was too engrossed in the song and I was just keeping going in and in and in. But until you're 100% happy with that eye look, do what you want. Make sure you just further define and sharpen up that crease. And as you can see, I keep flicking the brush out to create that cut winged crease. So it's nice and defined. What else would you want, ladies? Now I'm going to show you the other end of the Anastasia brush, which you will see now, which is perfect. And all I'm going to do, no additional product, run that over that deeper shade just to buff and blend it out even more so that it doesn't look as harsh. We don't want it to be too harsh. You don't want it to look like orange straight to dark brown. You want it to sort of fade and blend in between. Just be nice and blended as always. Now we're taking our Inglot 10S brush yet again and just keep going over until your heart's content. I can see here that I just keep going over and over and over. I didn't realise how much I actually did. Whenever I filmed the other eye, or whenever I done my other eye, I don't think I done it as much as this. I must have been just trying to be perfect for the video. But seriously, as you can see, no eye look is just completed in 5 minutes. It does take a wee bit more time. Just make sure you work with it to your desired sort of look that you want. If you maybe don't want it as defined as this, you can see that that is achievable. You don't need to go as much as I did because I'm a bit, you know, over the top. Now we're taking our wee Glam Co 226 brush and that same Rimmel concealer, and we're just carving out the lid. I always recommend starting off small, get the product down really close to the lash line, then when you have the product on, start to cut the crease. So starting just below that line and just carving it out. I don't really have the perfect eye shape for this, as I have a wee bit of a hood, so you know, like I said in my last video, just make sure everything just goes to your eye shape, work everything to yours. But as you can see, it still works for mine. It's still 100%, but I would prefer this look on somebody with a larger eye, but I just wanted to demonstrate it for you. So as you can see, I'm pulling that concealer out towards the tail of my brow, and that is creating that winged shape as well. So just keep working. Don't use too much of that concealer as well, girls, or else it'll start to crease on you. So I'm using the Inglot 13PS brush in the shadow, which I don't have the name of, but I pointed to, and all I'm going to do is pop that right over that concealer to set that concealer in place and give a wee bit of a nice sheen. That is one thing I love about the Anastasia palettes, is their shimmer shades. They're so pigmented. This is more of a warm colour. I typically wouldn't really go warm, but I wanted to do something different. I either would go matte white here or like a real dark colour, but I like the look of this, so I thought I might as well work with it and see what the crack is. Just keep going in and further defining if you need to, as I sort of went a wee bit high into the crease there. So that is it done. Now we're taking the Too Faced, we're taking the sketch marker by Too Faced, and we're just drawing a nice line upon our lash line. Couldn't get it out there, and of course this is a hard thing to do, but I recommend using short strokes as always. Then we're taking the Inglot 77 gel liner and the Glam Co 317 brush, and we're going to start to wing out our lash line and create a nice winged look. So starting from the bottom lash line, draw a line with the tip of the brush up towards the tail of the brow, then come back in upon that line. Now if you just want a wee bit more of a detailed winged eyeliner look, go on ahead, and I'll do, just leave a wee comment below and I'll do just a winged eyeliner look with very minimal shadow so you can get the full effect. So just watch me doing short strokes here, going in, reapplying, because you know, practice makes perfect. I still hate gel liner, I hate winged eyeliner, but I love it on, I love the look of it, so I just have to work with it sometimes. So just take your time. Short strokes is the main thing. Don't ever try and get anything in one big swoop, as it's very hard to achieve. If you can do that, I friggin' envy you. It is like the best thing to be able to do, and I know people can do it, but I can't. So I'm just filling in until my little heart is content. Now you can see here I have eyelashes on miraculously, and that is using the Eldora M108, another fave of mine, and we're using the MAC Studio Fix foundation in NW10, which means I am porcelain skin, which you girlies already know, and we're using the Real Techniques blush brush to just buff that into my skin. Just go over nice with a real nice flawless appearance, as this brush is really fluffy and it just gets that nice real flawless appearance. And if you can already tell, I probably have used 1,000 different foundation brushes in my tutorials, but the reason being is because this was the only clean one I had, and I was being a bit lazy and didn't want to go and clean it. So yeah, that is the ugly truth. So just keep blending over your face, buffing that nice and lightly in to get that full coverage appearance. It gives a real nice airbrush look. Doesn't cake in any areas, as I've been quite dry this past while. Always make sure you take it down your neck as well, girls. Thank you so much. Now we're taking the Collection 2000 Lasting Perfection Concealer in shade Fair, and we're just running that nice and lightly underneath our eyes. And the reason being, I left my under eye eyeshadow was so I could really make sure I could clean up that eyeline, because you know, a girl was a bit messy with her eyeliner. Now we're just taking a wee pre-marked foundation brush and buffing that down below, as we can be as messy as we want right now because we've no eyeshadow on down below, and you know, being messy is fun. And we're just making sure everything is perfect. At this point I seen that I didn't put a wee bit of foundation around my eyebrows, so I just fixed that right up, and I just made sure that I blended all of my concealer in with that foundation brush. Now we're taking the So See Me contour palette, and I'm using that warm shade, and I'm creating a line from the top of my ear to the corner of my eye and flicking up. Now buffing in with the Real Techniques contour brush and just buffing up and back, and I just realized you just couldn't see. I'm so sorry. And then any excess of that there shade, no extra, just buff it up to the top of the forehead to make it nice and blended and even. Now we're taking the Sigma F35 brush with the Laura Mercier loose translucent powder and just packing that on underneath our eyes to really set our concealer in place. This is important to do first. Make sure you set your under eyes before the rest of your face. I'm also setting underneath my contour or bronzer or whatever you want to call it, just to give the appearance of a more sharp line. And then using the Eco Tools powder brush and some Rimmel Stay Matte, which you cannot beat, just to pat that all over the face. So just make sure you pat it in, don't swipe. Now we're using the contour shade from the So See Me palette and using a wee Glam Co 109 brush, and you'll see me making a lot of crazy faces here, but this is a really good brush. I really liked it. It comes with a 15-piece set, and just get your line from the top of the ear to the corner of the eye when you're looking straight ahead and start to flick up and back. And I'm so sorry for my facial expressions in this. I look crazy, I know, but you know, Everybody needs to pull that face whenever they're doing their contour. So just keep, as you can see, I'm just doing it on the other side here. So top of the ear to the corner of the eye when you're looking straight ahead, get your line, flick it up to blend. Then we're going to take more of that for some reason. I must have felt like I needed more when I can clearly see I didn't, and now I'm going to look cray. But just make sure you get that final blend, as I think I went in now with a powder brush to blend as well. Maybe took, oh no, I took it on the top of my forehead, top of my forehead and down the corners of my nose, or down the sides of my nose, just to get the appearance of a slimmer nose, because my nose is frigging massive, but you know. So just make sure you're satisfied with your contour, which I seem to be doing a lot of today. Whatever's wrong, I must be feeling really extra. Yep, feeling extra. Yep, now I'm buffing it away now. Now this is my favourite highlighter at the minute. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold, and it suits my skin type so well. So I'm porcelain, as you know, and it really suits more tan girls as well. So if you really want to get a real universal shadow or a real universal highlighter, if you're a makeup artist, grab this beauty. And it also isn't glittery, it's just highlighting. As you can see, it just has a sheen. It doesn't look glittery, which sometimes is really annoying whenever you've done somebody's face so beautifully and you put on like a highlight that has glitter specks and it just goes everywhere. Okay, singing. Now my favourite sort of blush, which is a bronzer, is the I Heart Makeup Love Hot Summer Bronzer. I adore it. Just taking that on a wee Makeup Pro Store blush brush and starting at the apples of my cheeks and flicking back and up. If you really want more detail on how I do this, go to my foundation routine, which I have up before this here if you want any more info. But you know, I'm sure you get the gist of it. Everybody knows how to do their face makeup. This is just how I do mine personally, so I hope you enjoy. Buff. I've used far too much today. Now I am using the Glam Co 322 brush and using that nice first orange shade and just carving out, just putting that underneath my eye to act as an eyeliner. So just using that underneath the eye to line my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the Glam Co 230 brush, which you will see now in a wee second, and a wee bit of that darker shade, and just go over top a toony bit, which is funny because typically you would use the darker shade first, but I don't know why I done this. I just was feeling a bit crazy. And here is the finished look. My lippies are the Huda Beauty Bombshell liquid lipstick with a wee bit of a gloss over top. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, girls, and thank you for watching. Leave any suggestions below, and thank you. Subscribe. Love you.